Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the barn. And we got Brian Strausser in the house.
What's up?
We haven't caught up in a while. Bluetooth technology, gotta love microphones. So there's a chainsaw here because for those of you guys who followed me a couple weeks ago, I went to North Carolina and to volunteer my other chainsaws, and even gave one away while I was down there too, plus all of my tools and parts and everything else. So I just had to do something. And Brian's that guy, like just has to do things. And he actually got pissed at me because I didn't give him the heads up that I was going to North Carolina. So a lot of people don't know that. Those of you who know me for a while, I wrote a book about the wildland firefighting years. That book is 100% benefits my charity, Fuel Foundations, that I launched. So the charity's not very well known, and the book, slowly cranks along. I donate 5% of all of my income into the charity. So the charity, Fuel Foundations, basically it was like a mission trip of my excursion. Other than fuel and a little bit of tools and supplies that I also donated down there, that was paid for by Fuel Foundations. Anything else I personally do, like modifying chainsaws, which is part of this story here, and my own saws, that's my own expenses. I don't put that through the charity. The charity is about giving back and helping people. So that being said, this is one of the saws that I took to North Carolina. I borrowed it off my neighbor because I already had my own saws, and I needed a backup just in case. And he's like, hey, I'm retired, and I was going to flip this chainsaw. But he goes, I love what you stand for. Please take it with you and try and help somebody with it. So this MS-391 is from my neighbor Joe. Shout out to Joe. And he said, hey, take it. It was practically brand new. He was going to sell it on Facebook Marketplace for like $700 or whatever. And then he goes, I don't care what condition it is. I love that you're going to give back and help people with it. So I took it down there, beat the snot out of it for about a week, besides my big saw. And then I gave away my little saw and then brought my big saw home and brought this home. So then Brian's like, dude, I need to go. So right now, people don't know this, he's on the board of my charity, Fuel Foundations, because he and I met years ago running chainsaws at Jordan Park, mountain biking community. He knows how to give back. I know how to give back. So now he wants to go too. So anyway, this saw that went to North Carolina is going back again. But before it could go, I had to do some modifying on it. So we added some custom high-end felling dogs from West Coast saws on out in the U.S. And then the other night I was working on it, added a muffler port because it's guy things. And then we just got done putting in a high-end air cleaner. So the saw is going to go back to North Carolina, performing at another level, would you say? You got to go here.
Hillbilly level.
Hillbilly level, there we go. So
First and foremost,
yeah,
crazy people should never leave crazy people behind.
my bad.
So I was sitting at home when I saw the live video that Scott was going down. He was in his shop here loading up his truck to do his trip. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you son of a bitch. Because for weeks since what went on in North Carolina, I'm saying to my wife, man, I wish I could just deck out my trailer with everything I could possibly fill it with and just run down there and help for as long as I can. Not always is all that possible. So in my head, I was constantly kind of thinking about what I could do or how I could do it, and then the only other guy that I'm friends with that I would literally say is crazier than I am, and he's the only guy, came up with this idea that he was going down by himself. So I immediately called him. I'm like, you son of a bitch, had you let me know? I've been talking about this to my wife for weeks.
I think I was in West Virginia at the time. I was still trying to get down there, and you'd called me in the middle of the road trip. So.
Yeah, I would have packed my shit up and went. So luckily, it ended up working out even better for us because he got to do some intel, go down and find out what's going on, where to be.
A little reconnaissance.
Meet some people and get a better idea as to how I could be of more help when I get down there to do what I'm setting out to do. So, I'm pretty excited. I leave. I'm shooting for next Thursday. I was going to go down Saturday, but I'm hoping to go down Thursday now. I want to get a good weekend. And you can only do so much when you're waking up, from morning to night doing this kind of labor. This stuff's pretty serious, but I've been watching videos.
Strausser Home Improvements. This guy is a home improvement guru. So But yeah, I'll plug them for you guys. So.
And I've been watching videos of what's going on. I find it disturbing that the media isn't talking about it. We talk about so much bullshit anymore that doesn't need to have the airtime. And here's families that literally lost everything they ever had. Their house has floated down rivers that used to be creeks that you could step over. People are still
30-foot flood stages in some areas that I got to literally hike through and see.
Yeah,
it's bad. Yeah,
it's disturbing. It's and our government, our current government, isn't doing what needs to be done to solve these problems. It's knuckleheads like myself and Scott that have the balls and the care and the purpose in life to do things for other people that are stepping up to the plate and going down there and trying to give some type of normalcy to an area that is far from it.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, so for those of you who have been following his post when he tags me and I let him get shared in the Facebook world or whatever, I'm going to make sure this video goes in the YouTube world too. He's going week of 16th, right?
Yeah, I'm going to leave next Thursday, the 14th.
So
We're shooting the 14th.
So literally right before next weekend, as we're going live right now, he's heading out. So
1 week.
He's already started even like reaching out and observing different church groups that got stuff going on. I will say this: there is a lot going on. It's not like nothing's happening, but the community spirit that I observed down there was phenomenal. I mean, I had people that HVAC company that I went to and donated all my saw stuff to was just a surrounding civilians who just came together and started taking deliveries from donations, and there was Rotary clubs coming in U-Haul trucks, unloading generators, refrigerators, all kinds. It was so inspiring. It was a real like heart jerker. So on that note, again, he's on the board of Fuel Foundations when I created it. We are taking donations on his behalf. I know a bunch of people have actually donated privately to you through your Venmo. I know he's sharing that on his feed too. But if you this is not the mission of Fuel Foundations. Obviously, I've got a big Boots for Wildland Firefighters campaign going on right now, too. But again, about once or twice a year, I find local things that need help. And this is local-ish. We're the Yankees in the north going down south. So in the end, I found that having a legitimate 501c3 and a charity that people can, quote-unquote, write off in their taxes, they usually give a little bit more. So I can guarantee you his trip is being fully supported by Fuel Foundation. So if people are donating while he's going down there, beforehand or afterwards, he's making sure that everything is being left behind, kind of like how I did. I literally emptied my cabinet here with all of my chainsaw supplies, resupplied 2 more times while down there, and just gave them everything, including one of my chainsaws. I gave them all the bar oil, the fuel, the wedges, the round files, the chains. I mean, because I knew there's people with boots on the ground that are going to be doing a lot more before and after me. I'm just one dude. But if one dude amongst hundreds, if not thousands of amazing volunteers can leave a lasting impact and help those people before the holiday season, before winter rolls in, that's where it's at. And that's why I love the Brian stepping up and going to do the same thing.
Along with taking all the chainsaw stuff, too, I'm taking my tool belt, I'm taking a bunch of my own tools for my carpentry business, and going down because I'm not sure which aspect of things I'm going to get into. So I might get into doing some demo work. There's a lot of, basically right now everything is shit. It's just a mess everywhere. So things need to be torn down before you can build them back up. So I don't see myself building things per se, but I'm going to try to find things outside of some of the larger group areas that are being tackled to do things that maybe a tree came down and had an issue and thanks to Moyers, A.D. Moyer from William Penn, I've been going there for years. Those guys are like a family to me, and Doug, the owner, and the guys there let me do basically a shopping spree. I walked around, grabbed a bunch of things that I needed, stuff to take along. I've got a bunch of friends that have given me chains and things like that. And the other thing I'm letting everybody know, too, is when we're doing stuff like this, like the money that's being donated is not paying for my food. It's not paying for my beer. It's not paying for my gas. It's not paying for any of those different aspects. It's going to the people. So I'm paying for my food. I'm camping. I'm not wasting money on rooms and stuff like that.
He does love camping, so there might be some pleasure.
I'm going to sleep on the ground for a week straight. At 50, I'm just shy of 50, like a month away. You know, I'm going to spend a week sleeping on the ground, hopping up, waking up in the morning, going out with a bunch of good people and trying to help people out. I've had people donate a bunch of kids' books. I'm going with my daughter. We're going to go through all of her crazy amounts of stuffed toys. I'm a kid freak. So, you know, I want to reach the kids and stuff too.
There's families that are struggling.
And try to put a smile on some people's faces. Because it's a situation, man. There's not a lot of smiles going on right now.
That's going with you.
What is this?
It's a propane heater.
Oh, nice.
These buddy things are really, really popular. I saw skids of these down there being donated as well, but these little Mr. Buddies it's a 4,000 to 9,000 BTUs, and the little green camper tanks. So people are coming into the winter season, and even if some of these people have not even gotten power back yet. If you get remote into the mountains where I was going, I was outside of Chimney Rock, Lake Lower, I was in Swannanoa, like some really bad hit areas. There's people not sure, like their propane tanks might have been ripped away from the house. Power is restored, is not. Some have generator power, some don't. We're coming into the winter season. Some people don't even have heat. Something as simple as this is a game changer for a lot of people. So I made sure I grabbed it on one of these so you could take that on your trip as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what it's like. Brian and I go way back now, and it's like, it's fun when you start giving, and then you want to give a little bit more. I told him a story, like when I was at the donation spot, and I started giving my chainsaw stuff, and he goes, yeah, I got a volunteer assault team coming in from Louisiana. And I'm like, oh, well, could you use more? And he goes, I'll take whatever you got. And I was like, okay. I just emptied the Jeep. And I'm like, I'll just go back to the store, you know, when I commute back down to my buddy's house in South Carolina and resupply. It's fun that way. It's expensive, but it's fun. How do you say this? It's fun and tragic all married together, but in the end, it's all about, like, people even told me, like, I was busting my ass all day running chainsaws with a smile. There's that energy.
There's nothing better than running chainsaws.
Well, there's that. We
nothing
love
better.
running chainsaws. But I love promoting nonprofit work and charity work, even if you don't do anything with my charity, Field Foundations. I said when I was down there in North Carolina to people listening or watching, like, find your own thing to align with. It doesn't have to be a nonprofit. It could be a church, or it could be feeding the hungry around Thanksgiving or Christmas. There is something that it just triggers your heart, and I think that's what we all need to be doing more of.
Cool thing about me and Scott too. Like Scott, I consider like family. He's like a brother to me, but we don't get together to hang out and drink or like do silly shit, this, that, whatever. When me and Scott get together, we're helping somebody.
Shit's happening.
Like we met in volunteer work. We get together to talk about volunteer work, and we're constantly doing things for other people. And that's why, you know, I respect him so much and appreciate being his friend.
And that's why, on that note, perfect. So this saw is actually, you're not paying for it. It's been paid for. So, anyway, he doesn't know that. So, that's a gift for your mission. Because your entire chainsaw history, I never forgot that. Every saw you have in that truck that's going down, it's been a gift. Because of what you've given to other people. So, that's paid for. Don't worry about it. All the upgrades, everything.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to surprise him. That's why I had to go live. Besides supporting his mission, this guy's got such a big fucking heart. I was like, oh, yeah. I told Joe, I was trying to get Joe, my neighbor, to come up here. He's already been paid. He's been paid for a while now. So, because I want all the funding that you see fit as a representative of Fuel Foundations or just what we give a shit about, going down there and like, dude, the cash flow is for those people. It's not about buying sauce. Like me pimping this, that's on me. Don't worry about it. So,
it's crazy, man.
Dude. You're a good dude. So guys, we got a few more things to close out on. Thank you for hanging in for this this live. Brian, anything else you want to leave behind for your fans? Because I did tag you, so it'll be showing up in your feed as well. So
I cry a lot. Yeah, that's what I do.
He overheard. He asked me how North Carolina, when I was coming back, I was doing the choke up thing. What'd you say? Oh, you've been Straussed? What'd you say to me on the phone?
Yeah, I don't know. Something. I've never hear him. I get pretty emotional about a lot of things, but you know, one of the things that sealed the deal for me going down and doing what we're doing is hearing him get choked up on the phone, you know, from what he saw and what he dealt with.
It's a hot mess down there. It's a hot mess.
And we're glad to be a part of the right kind of change, you know, doing stuff for people. And I appreciate you, Scott.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. So anyway, guys, thanks for letting a couple jackasses kind of bro out and get all warm and fuzzy and yada yada.
We might hug after we turn this off.
Yeah.
It'd be too
There could
awkward
be some
for you to say.
going on. So yeah. So if you believe in bromancing, donate to his trip.
Which I oddly don't, but I might break into a little bit of it here soon.
So thanks for tuning in again. You can go to fuelfoundations.org and there's a donate option there. And again, anything being donated, I'm sending right into his account to obviously, again, because like I said, I was so inspired. I'm emptying my Jeep and just giving away my stuff and had to go buy more stuff anyway. So you never know what happens once you get down there. And once we get him plugged in with the people that I got connected with, there's a lot of work ahead. This is not getting fixed this year. North Carolina's got years of recovery ahead of them. So thanks for tuning in. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, brother.
Help us help others, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't wait till he starts sending some of his own footage because I had a lot of fun running chainsaws and a lot of great people giving me art to take home with here. Shout out to Gary and Kat if they ever see this. They made this. They gave that to me after I really cleaned up their backyard. It was a hot mess. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. And yeah, fuelfoundations.org. Talk to you soon. Later.